So to wrap up graphing linear inequalities, now I'm going to give you the graph and ask you to write the linear inequality. All right, so remember this is going to be in slope-intercept form. So we got our y. We need to figure out what is the inequality symbol, what is the slope, and what is the y-intercept. Those are the components that we need to figure out based off the graph. So easiest place to start is probably the y-intercept. So it starts at, starts at 2. Okay. Now I'm going to find another point on the line. I see another point here, and I'm going to figure out what the slope is. Well, notice I go down 1 to the right 5. Down 1 to the right 5. So my slope is going to be negative 1/5. We go down 1 to the right 5. And last but not least, we got to figure out whether we have a solid or dashed boundary line and whether we shade above or below. Well, notice we shade below this line. Okay, so if we shade below, that's going to be less than, and since we have a solid boundary line, it's going to be less than or equal to. All right, so the inequality y is less than or equal to negative 1/5 x plus 2. And that represents, this inequality here represents that graph that we were given. Okay, what about B? Well, B, we have a vertical line. All right, we got a vertical line through 4, which means that everywhere on this graph, the x-coordinate is always going to be 4. All right, so if this were an equation, it would be x equals 4. But we don't have an equation here. We have an inequality. So we got to figure out what symbol I'm going to put there. All right, well, notice that it's dashed, so we're either looking at less than or greater than, and we shade to the left here, which means we're getting smaller. So this is going to be x is less than 4. X is less than 4. And then lastly, in part C, again, we've got a line, boundary line, so I'm going to look like it in slope-intercept form. I'm going to try to get it into slope-intercept form. So y, some inequality symbol, some slope, and some y-intercept. So the y-intercept is 1. Let me find another point on this line. Let's see. Here's another point. So I go up 1 to the right 4. Up 1 to the right 4. So my slope is going to be 1/4. And then it's a dashed line. It is a dashed line, and it's shaded above the dashed line. So that's going to look like y is greater than 1/4 x plus 1. So our final answer, y is greater than 1/4 x plus 1. So that's how you write the inequality based off of a graph. There's several components you need to look for. You need to look for the y-intercept, the slope, and then figure out what inequality symbol you're going to use. So you need to look, is it solid or dashed boundary line, and do I shade above or below my line? All right, so now that we've talked about how to graph and how to write, I got 2 you try nows here for you. Get your lines into, quote, slope-intercept form, and then graph them. Think about, is it going to be dashed or solid? Do I shade above or below? All right, so make sure you try those, and we'll go over them next time I see you. Bye now.